The Trigger Spoon Jr., big enough to draw strikes from trophy trout, small enough to round up a limit of pan-sized fryers, and the perfect spoon to put on the end of your line when the trolling gets tough. Pick up your kit of Trigger Spoon Juniors today at fishhuntshoot.com. Fish on the Trigger Spoon Junior. That's a nice fish, too. Felt like a ton of bricks. We'll see. Been tough here today. No doubt about it. That was right at about 20 feet. Man, what a strike. Trigger Spoon Junior, baby. Man, that's a good spoon. It's going right at 1.8 when that fish hit. Ooh, daddy, look at that big rainbow. Right there, Trigger Spoon Junior. Woo! Woo! Oh, that's a stud right there. What a beauty. Look at that hefty rainbow. Man, that's a nice fish. Jumped all over that orange Trigger Spoon Junior. It's a tough bite out here today. It's trolling at 1.8 miles an hour, about 20 feet. Ring the dinner bell for trout, kokanee, and landlocked kings with Kellogg's Willow Leaf Dodgers. Available in mini and magnum sizes at fishhuntshoot.com. Get yours today. Howdy guys, Kellogg here. Today I have a viewer question, and let me give you a little background on this guy. His name is JJ, and he lives in West Sacramento, and we actually spent a good deal of time the other night chatting on the phone, but I thought I'd share his central question here on the channel because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys have the same question. Now, JJ, he went from being a bass guy to getting, his toe wet in the trout fishing world, him and his wife, and now they are avid trout fishermen. For the past 5 years or so, I think he told me, he's been fishing out of a Lund skiff, tiller-driven boat with a very rudimentary sonar unit and no downriggers. Well, they decided to take the plunge. This last year, they picked up a full-size 20-foot Raider heavy aluminum hulled boat. It's decked out with Canon electric downriggers, a top-end Humminbird sonar unit, and a bow-mounted Minn Kota trolling motor. And they really want to explore their options. They want to chase kokanee. They want to chase kings, and they want to start hitting some of the big impoundments for trout. Places like Shasta, Don Pedro, stuff like that. Big open water lakes. Places where you absolutely need a downrigger, places where you need to be able to find fish in open water that are feeding on bait, either in the form of pond smelt or threadfin shad. And JJ had a bunch of questions, but his central question was, what lures should I start the day with, and should I troll those lures naked or should I team them with Dodgers? Well, the answer to the first question was, anytime I'm fishing a bait fish lake, 95% of the time I'm starting out the day with spoons. And should you be fishing them naked or should you be fishing them with a Dodger? Yes, you should. You should be fishing a combination of both. Now, I'm assuming JJ is going to be out there with his wife or one of his other fishing buddies, and they're going to have 2 rod stickers, which means they can run 4 total rods. Now, you might only want to run 3 rods, but the bottom line is you want rods in the water that are running a naked spoon, and you want rods in the water that are running a spoon teamed with a Dodger. Now, here's how I rig up my naked spoons, and kind of bear with me, kind of ignore this Dodger because I'm going to talk about that in a second. My basic rig for, any kind of trolling, and especially for, open water trolling, place like Shasta, Don Pedro, my main line, this is the main line right here, comes down from my rod. I put it through that bead so I can kind of keep track of where everything is in low light conditions so I can see where this swivel is. I tie on a bead chain trolling swivel just like that, and right here, if I'm trolling naked spoons, I attach my leader right here, and I'm running a leader, ignore that Dodger, I'm running a leader that's anywhere from 30 to 40 inches long, 8-pound test fluorocarbon, and I've got that tipped with a cross-lock snap right there, and on that snap I'm running a bait fish imitating spoon. In this case, this is a chrome trigger spoon. It could be a needlefish. It could be any number of different kinds of spoons. Of course, I love my spoons. I got a lot of confidence in them. But again, you could be running any kind of spoon, but you want to be running a basic bait fish imitating spoon. So that's your naked presentation. So maybe you're running 2 rods with naked spoons. Maybe you're playing with colors just a little bit. You want to be going with bait fish colors initially. So maybe you've got a copper spoon on and a chrome spoon, or a chrome spoon and a shad pattern spoon, or a chrome spoon and a gold spoon. Whatever that combination of colors is, you just want something that says bait fish, either a smelt or a shad. Now, on the rods that you're running Dodgers with, the only change I make in that setup is I attach the Dodger to the trolling swivel, and then I attach that 30 or 40 inch leader to the rear of it, sporting that spoon. Now, a lot of guys are surprised that I run leaders that long with a Dodger, and I'll tell you why I do that. These spoons, whether it's a needlefish or a trigger spoon or a Castmaster or whatever, these spoons have plenty of action on their own. I don't need the Dodger to impart any action to that spoon. The Dodger simulates the sound and flash of a trout or a salmon feeding. Fish hear that in open water. They're used to hearing that. They come in to see what's going on. They see that little minnow swimming along. They're in a mood to feed. They came in to look to see who's feeding on what. And they grab the spoon. You got a fish on, okay? Pretty simple stuff. Now, if you are using a hoochie or something that doesn't have action, that's when you want to be running your bait, 2.5 to 3 Dodger links behind the blade, because you're relying on the Dodger to impart action to the bait. But when you're using a spoon or a plug, something like that, you just want this Dodger to draw a fish into the vicinity, and then they'll see that lure working on its own. And if they're in a mind to feed, if they're in a mind to strike, they're going to hit it. So, but you never know from day to day if they're going to want their spoon teamed with a Dodger, or they're going to want their spoon naked. And that's why you're going to start off with a combination of both, and then you're going to shape your approach from there. You're going to seek out fish. You're going to find fish in the sonar. You're going to work the structure. Maybe you're out right in the middle of the lake. You're going to find some bait, whatever it is. Once you find an area that you are confident has fish in it, you're going to learn very quickly whether or not they're hitting. If you get 3 hits in a row and land 2 fish and they're all on naked spoons, get the Dodgers off your lines and run 4 naked spoons or 3 naked spoons. Conversely, if all your strikes or most of your strikes are coming with the rigs that are tipped with Dodgers, make that change. Also, vary your colors. Don't go, wildly in terms of color. Like this here, this is a rainbow pattern Fisheye Pro, a 6-inch blade. Run something similar to that, but different. Maybe a watermelon color, maybe something like that. And start playing with those variables. If you find out that all your fish are coming on the copper naked spoon, you know what to do. Put on Fire Tiger spoons. Of course not. Put on all copper colored spoons. If you find all the strikes are coming behind a watermelon color blade, guess what? Throw this rainbow pattern one on the bottom of the boat. Try not to step on it. Get a watermelon blade on there and get after those fish. Always listen to what the fish are telling you. A lot of guys go out there and they're like, I'm going to catch fish on the presentation I want to pull. That's the wrong philosophy. Show those fish kind of a variety of offerings and let the fish tell you what they want. Give the fish what they want, and you're going to be yelling fish on. It's kind of like this. If you've ever been turkey hunting, it's a lot easier to call a gobbler in the direction he wants to go rather than to make him turn around and go to where you're set up. Same thing with fish. Show them what they want to feed on, and you're going to catch a bunch of fish. If you try to make the fish feed on what you want them to feed on, you're fighting an uphill battle, and it's going to be a much tougher day out on the water for you. And believe me, some days I do that. Some days I'll go out with a tackle manufacturer or a certain guy, and they want to catch fish on a certain thing, and some days that is just a grind, because that's not the best way to go. Take the fish's temperature, listen to what the fish tell you, and change up accordingly. So in short, JJ, and to the rest of you guys out there, if you're fishing a big open body of water, a big impoundment with lots of bait fish, couple lines with naked spoons, couple lines with 6-inch dodgers, mix up the colors, find the fish, listen to the fish, and you're going to catch plenty of fish, and you're going to catch some big ones as well. I'm Kel Kellogg. I've rambled long enough. Looks like I've rambled for upwards of 9 minutes here. I'm signing off for now. If you're looking for trigger spoons, blades, rods, and more, you know where to go. FishHuntShoot.com. I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube, guys. I want to thank you for all the support. You guys stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.